And that actually brings us to another story here. In the United States, not just Florida anymore, we're talking about the entire country, the number of children being hospitalized for COVID has hit a new record. And what's really disturbing too is that even though we have a record number of children hospitalized with COVID, they still only make up 2.4% of COVID hospitalizations. So more kids than ever, but because we also have more people than ever, this is what we have. Stories out on Sunday telling us that over in Texas, I believe it was, they're doing what New York had to do in the early days of the pandemic, and they're setting up hospital beds in the parking garage. It was either Texas or Mississippi, I forget. Oh, but Mississippi actually did have an 8th grader die of COVID. An 8th grader, 13, 14 years old, eligible for the vaccine but had not received it as far as we know, died from COVID. Because there was no safe way to send all these kids back to school. And for the record, yes, under 18 hospitalizations are at a record high. You know what else is going up? The 19 through 29, the 30 through 39, the 40 through 49. In every age group, the number of COVID hospitalizations is approaching an all-time high. And unfortunately, this Delta variant does seem to be far more disastrous for younger people, even for healthy people without any comorbidities, than original COVID. The disease is getting worse. The virus is getting worse. It's continuing to mutate, and it's affecting people that a year ago, if they got COVID, well, it wasn't a big deal. Or they may have even been asymptomatic from it. That's no longer the case. Remember that last summer they said, well, this is a disease of the elderly or the obese or people with a lot of comorbidities. Not anymore. We are seeing formerly healthy people die of this. We are seeing people come out of this that may have permanent lung problems as a result of this disease. And Republican leaders continue to whistle past the graveyard, digging in their heels and saying, nope, we're not going to change what we've already done because, then it might make us look foolish. Protect your citizens. I promise you're going to get rewarded politically more for helping your residents than you will for letting them die. I don't know why it's so hard for these Republican leaders to get that through their brains, but that's the situation we're dealing with now. You can either piss off the minority of people who are anti-mask and anti-vax, or you can kill off enough of your base to where you'll never win an election again. Seems like a pretty simple equation to me. I'm Farron Cousins, and for David Packman, we'll be right back.